Hi, and welcome to another interesting episode on Who Wants to Be a TV Presenter. Now, this is going to be the second part of interviews. On the last episode, we started the conversation about interviews, how you prep for your guests, research about them, know how to pronounce their names correctly, and then you prep them. You don't want to take them unaware, by the questions you're going to be asking them, and then you prep your team members, talking about your production crew, technical director, your producer, and all. And then you settle down to gather your thoughts on how to begin. So today, we are going to be looking at more other tips to run you through that session of interview with your guest. Okay, so the first thing, now you have prepared yourself, you have prepared your guests, you're all seated. Here the show begins. Now you have to consider a unique opening, just like I said when we discussed talk shows. Consider a unique opening and then find a way to introduce your guest nicely. You can start from their credentials, talk about who they are, what they have done, things they have achieved, and from there you move on to mentioning their name in the last part of that introduction. And that will be like, giving them so much accolade, appreciating them and hyping them, which of course is going to make them happy with you, and they will feel proud of themselves right there. They will feel good on screen. That in itself is a way of winning them to your side to cooperate with you throughout the session of the interviews. Okay, so introduce your guests nicely. Now, sometimes you would have guests that have no respect for time. You would have guests who are very good talkers, who are, very, very active and vibrant more than you are. But then, as the presenter and as the person who is running the show, you must be firm and be in control of the show. Don't let the guest take the control of the show from you. Okay? You have to be firm, be in control, insist that you are the one running the show. Don't just throw it in the face, but then you must find creative ways to take charge of the show. You should be the one doing the questioning and not the other way around. You should be the one determining what happens on the show and not the other way around. Now, having planned out your entire questions for the guest that you have, having planned out your questions, you have to be able to allocate certain time frames. You have to allocate your time properly so that you don't dwell on a particular question for too long and spend the entire show asking only a few questions. Okay? As much as possible, you are trying to get as much answers as possible from your guests for the interest of your viewers. Okay, so you have to be able to moderate the discussion to make sure that all the questions you have prepared, you get at least close to all of them, if not all. All right, so that is, you have to be good at your time management. So be firm, be in control, utilize your time properly, and then stay within the discussion. Whatever it is you're asking or interviewing the guest about, make sure you stay within the discussion. Don't have you can't have a guest on your show from the police force and you're discussing policing in Nigeria, and from there you deviate to discuss health related issues. Of course, you can have another time to discuss health related issues, but on this show you are going to stay with that discussion on policing in Nigeria, for example. Okay, so stay within the discussion, and then within that discussion be sure that you are asking the relevant question. You have to share the relevant information. Okay, share the relevant information. Your questions can be drawn from the research you have already made, the research you have already done before the interview. All your questions can be like a follow-up questions to the answers that your guest is already giving you to the questions you asked initially. Okay, so just like you ask questions, he is giving you his answers, and from his answers you pick up some other questions that you want to ask to get more clarity on what the guest is saying. Okay, now at the end of the interview, don't forget to appreciate your guest for coming, appreciate your guest for making himself available to educate the public on whatever it is you both have discussed on the show. Appreciate your guests and sign out. If you want to know how to sign out, go back to the previous episode where I talked about signing out when we're talking about talk shows. So watch the previous episodes, you see some of the examples on signing out from your talk show or interview or TV shows. And this is where we come to the end of this class. Don't forget to join me in the next class when we'll be talking about news and reporting. You don't want to miss any of this. Simply hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification to get prompt updates on all the new videos that I'll be dropping to help you become the best that you can be as a TV presenter. My name is Michael, and this is La Pen Media TV.